Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the review for the Samsung Galaxy S6 and the S6 Edge. And I'm not going to go over all the details about these devices because I've already done the unboxing and detailed overview of these devices in another videos. In fact, I've made almost half a dozen videos on these devices covering its various other aspects like its gaming performance, camera performance, and in fact, I've also made a separate video regarding which one is better for you, the Galaxy S6 or the S6 Edge. So again, make sure you watch those videos. Links will be in the YouTube show notes. In fact, I have made a playlist. Just check out that playlist. It'll have all the videos. In this video, I will be talking about my experience with these phones because I think so now it's been quite some time since I've been using this device. Actually, it's been around 2.5 months since I've been using the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge and about 40 odd days since I've been using the Galaxy S6. So these are some of the things that I wanted to share, sort of a long-term review, and I have made pointers, the positive things about the device and the negative things about the device. And to quickly recap, let me quickly give you a configuration overview. Again, both these handsets are high-end handsets, and apart from the screen, the S6 Edge has a slightly curved screen. Both are identically the same except the battery. The battery capacity is actually a little bit higher on the S6 Edge. It has a 2600 milliamp hour battery, whereas the S6 has a 2550 milliamp hour battery. But in day-to-day usage, I found that the battery life on both the handsets were very similar, and these handsets pack some very impressive specs, like it has a 5.1 inch quad HD display, which is a very good and a crisp display, and also in direct sunlight it is easily legible, and it has to be one of the brightest displays that I've encountered. It has Gorilla Glass protection. Both the front and the back are covered with Gorilla Glass. It's powered by Samsung's own Exynos 7420 chipset, which is an octa-core chipset. It has 3 gigs of RAM. The GPU is the Mali T760MP8 GPU. It has 16 megapixel rear facing camera with optical image stabilization and a 5 megapixel front facing camera. Also, the lens is actually f1.9 lens, hence it gathers a lot of light. Regarding the battery, again, as I mentioned, the S6 has a 2550 milliamp hour battery, whereas the S6 Edge has a 2600 milliamp hour battery. But again, the battery is not user replaceable, and it also supports wireless charging with both the standards, that is Qi and PMA. So you are covered. But one thing to note is that both these handsets do not have any expandable storage. There is no option to insert a micro SD card. So the storage is what you get, and we get these handsets in 3 capacities. The basic one is 32 gigs, then we have the 64 gig version and also a 128 gig version. Now let me first talk about the battery life that I was getting. Again, as I mentioned, the battery life was very similar on both the devices, and I have to say the battery life is sort of mediocre in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, if you are a sort of a casual regular user, it will last for a working day. With a typical day when I'm in my office, that means most of the time I have Wi-Fi connection. At the end of the day, at around 10:30 in the evening, I was hovering anywhere between 20 to 25%. But on a heavy day, let's say I have to take an early flight, let's say morning 7 o'clock flight, and attend some events, etc. In those scenarios, by 5:30 to 6 o'clock in the evening, the battery would have fallen to 5%, and I had to do a top-up charge. So the battery, I would say battery life is okay for regular use, but again, if you are going to use it heavily, then you have to charge it twice a day. In terms of screen on time, I would say I was getting anywhere a screen on time of around about 2.5 hours to max of around 3 hours with my regular usage. So as you can see, the battery life is sort of okay, but nothing that great. On the other hand, the good thing is that this S6 and the S6 Edge both supports wireless G charging. So it is very easy. If you have that, you can just put it on that and it charges. And also the supplied charger is a quick charger. So it charges this device very quickly. And if you are in a meeting or something, if you can plug in and for about 15-20 minutes also, then it's good to go for about 4-5 hours. So the quick charging is a nice feature, but again, the battery life should have been a little bit better. Now, if we move to the general performance of both these devices, again, Samsung TouchWiz is known to be a little bit bloaty and laggy earlier, but I'm glad to say that Samsung has really improved the TouchWiz on this new Galaxy S6 and the S6 S6 Edge, and now it's been almost 2.5 months since I've been using this S6 Edge, and I'm happy to say that the S6 Edge hasn't slowed down now. And also in terms of functionality, Samsung has toned down the TouchWiz a little bit, so it's a lot easier and better to use. It does not exposes you to a lot of function, but again, we still have a lot of functions. For example, if you go in the health, we have the heart rate sensor and UV, etc. So all those things are there. I did not use the S Health a lot, but again, I have noticed that the S Health functionality also has been improved. It's the new kind of software, and it looks a lot cleaner in my opinion now. Also, when we talk about the cellular call quality that I got was very good. Also, in terms of speaker, though it has just one mono speaker here at the bottom, the speaker is actually surprisingly loud and clear. But again, if you hold it tightly like this, you can block it. But for a mono speaker, it is surprisingly loud in my opinion. I also did some gaming with this device, and as you can see, again, it's a high-end handset. It could handle all the games I threw on it, and the games ran fine. Also, the good thing is that even with the extended gaming, I did not notice any excessive heating. Yes, it was going around 43-44 degrees Celsius mark, but not very hot like some of the other handsets, high-end handsets that are overheating. So again, it's even decent for gaming, but again, do note that the storage is what you get, so you have to be aware of that. Also, when we move to the camera, here I was actually very impressed with the camera performance. Both the rear facing as well as the front facing camera performed very well. In fact, I have to say the front facing camera is one of the best that I've seen among smartphones. And with the front facing camera, you can record video up to 2K. Also, when we move to the rear facing camera, again here the performance was very good. So if you take a lot of pictures, as you can see from the sample shots, the camera performance on the S6 and the S6 is excellent. In fact, I've also done a comparison video between the iPhone 6 and the S6. You can check out that for more sample shots. So overall, the camera performance was also very nice. Now let me just break down this device between the pros and cons, the things that I like about the device and the things that I don't like about this device. Let's start with the negative aspects first. The first thing is that I do not like that the back is now also completely made up of glass. Yes, I know it's Gorilla Glass, but again, I feel I have to be a little bit careful when I use this device. And also, due to the fact that the back is also glass, it's actually very slippery. Also, I do not like the fact that now we do not have any micro SD card slot. So you have to be aware of the storage. And for more power users, I don't think so the 32 gig version might be enough. So you have to opt unnecessarily for the higher priced 64 gig variant. Samsung should have provided the micro SD card in my opinion. Also, if you notice the camera module at the back, it just comes out a little bit. But I just don't like this extra hump here at the back. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the battery life was just sort of mediocre. If you're a sort of heavy user, you will have to charge this device twice a day. Also, again, yes, I know it's not a con, but again, the supplied charger is a fast charger. And if you use that fast charger, the device will get a bit hot while charging. But again, it charges pretty quickly with that fast charger. Also, another thing that I don't like is, again, as I mentioned, there is quite a bit of price difference between the S6 and the S6 Edge. In India, the price difference is almost 9,000. So I don't like that. Again, as I mentioned earlier also, I made a separate video regarding the differences between the S6 and the S6 Edge. Yes, the S6 Edge has some additional functionality with the Edge screen, but I don't see that functionality a real, a deal breaker if you're going for the S6. It's sort of on the gimmicky side. So again, if you are undecided between the S6 and the S6 Edge, do watch that video. And I feel now the new price of the S6 in India, you can get it for around 39,000. I do feel in terms of value for money, the S6 goes ahead. But again, the S6 Edge just looks a lot more cooler to look due to these curved screen. Now let's move to the positive things about the S6 and the S6 Edge. The first thing, as I mentioned, in terms of cellular call quality, the cellular call quality was excellent. I had no problems with that. Also, when we talk about the general responsiveness of the device, the S6 and both the S6 Edge are very responsive devices. I did not notice any lagginess while using the device. Also, that famous gallery lag that we used to see on earlier Samsung phones is not there. Now you click and the gallery launches. Another thing that I really like is that the home button, if you press the home button, double tap the home button from anywhere, the camera just launches, and it launches very quickly. So you have the access to that functionality from anywhere from the phone, and if you take a lot of pictures, you'll really appreciate that thing. Also, now the S6 and the S6 Edge have the fingerprint scanner, and if you just tap in, it works, and now it works very well, I would say. I'm really loving the fact that you don't have to swipe for the fingerprint scanner. Just put your finger over the home button and it unlocks the device. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the front-facing camera is among the best that I've seen on a smartphone till date. Also, the rear-facing camera is also very good. So if you take a lot of pictures, you'll really like these S6 and the S6 Edge. Also, I do like the fact that it supports wireless charging out of the box. You don't need any special covers or something like that. Also, as I mentioned, the speakers are good, but again, it's just a mono speaker. So overall, as you can see, this Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge and the Galaxy S6 are actually very good devices. And certainly they are one of the best smartphones, but again, don't like the fact that just for the storage, as they don't have the micro SD card slot, you might have to opt for the 64 gig version if you are a sort of a power user. Overall, I would say both these handsets get a big thumbs up, and if you are undecided between the Galaxy S6 or the S6 Edge, which one is better for you, do watch the other video that I have posted on this subject. I hope that you found this video review helpful, and don't forget to watch the other videos that I posted on the S6 and the S6 Edge. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.